down 1,000 times. I ain't going nowhere. Yeah, I'm standing right here. Demons all around, but I ain't got no fear.
Welcome to the show, guys. Joseph Roberts, the fantasy football counselor. We got a big episode here. We're talking non-consensus top 10 fantasy football wide receivers for 2023. That is a mouthful. Speaking of mouthfuls, Tim, aka the bald guy, is here. He's got his glasses on, and he's full of it half the time. Tim, what is going on, man? I'm excited to dive in. Football's here. It's August. Are you ready to go?
I am. However, I don't know if you know what you just said. You said, speaking of mouthfuls.
Yeah, that's you.
Okay, I like it.
Mouthful.
We might not think on the same level here. You know, someone gave me crap the last time about being too sexual or something. And I got to tell you, it's pretty much where my brain goes all the time. So when you say I'm a mouthful,
No,
I'm
I was
happy.
just thinking like you talk too much, talk a lot of trash, talk a lot of Consheeps' BS.
Please.
I was
Anybody
thinking
that watches our show knows that you're the man that comes to that.
All right, Tim, let's dive into this. This is non-consensus style. And you guys know I like to go robust RB. You know, like it's robust or bust, load up on the weakest position. Not the weakest. I shouldn't say that. It's kind of weak right now because they're not getting paid. But load up on the most scarce position, which is the running back. You can get value, a Deontay Johnson, a Drake London. A guy that I really love this year, Quentin Johnson. Tons of sleepers, tons of wide receiver ones you can get later. But you may want to sneak in one of these top 10 wide receivers as part of a robust RB strategy. So in the first 4 rounds, you go 3 running backs. You may want to work in one of these wide receivers. So we're going to go over the non-consensus top 10 as if they would finish in this position. And again, there will be other people that slide in. A potential rookie could slide in, a JSN, an Addison. If Jefferson goes down, a Quentin Johnson, other guys could easily slide in the top 10. But the way that it sits right now, this is still light years ahead of the consensus list, all right? So we're talking top 10 wide receivers. Tim's going to read them off. But before we do, Tim, secure the 16-round drafts, which I've linked it below. Everything on a silver platter. Silver. I can't even talk today. I'm so excited. August is here. Football's here. We've got a football game tonight, guys. It's a preseason game. Nobody really cares. But sleepers, breakouts, optimal players, draft each round, everything laid out on a silver platter for you guys. Secure the solution, secure the championships. This is the game changer. Draft kits are dead. This is the solution. Use code SMASH to save. Tim, are you ready to dive into some wide receivers here? I'm excited, man. It is time for fantasy football. It is that time of year, man. Let's go. I'm excited.
Time to explode.
Time to back to the innuendos here.
No. I did not mean that this time. So now your head went there instead.
Now it did, yeah. So
boy.
A lot of people like you. They keep asking when you're not here, they want you. When Gwen's not here, they want Gwen. When Jim's not here, they want Jim. And when Connor doesn't show up, they want him. But when Connor does show up, they don't want him. Yeah. Tim, I can't please everybody. As much as I try, man, I can't please everybody. They like you, they hate you. It doesn't really matter. We just out here, putting out the best possible content. That's all we do.
That's it, man. I don't care about other people's opinions. I'm trying to provide the best I can for you guys. Take it, leave it. I don't care.
All right, so this is my list. I've actually, before the episode, I twisted Tim's arm and said, this is my list. You have no input. You're just reading today. So, Tim, let's read off. What's that? To
be honest, I'm fairly happy with most of this. You know, there's only one I'm probably going to really bust your balls on.
Let's hear it. Who's our
This is your top 10. Well, no, you want to do this in a specific order, do you not? Or do you want me to hit you on the guy that I'm going to question you on?
Well, why don't we go 10 down to 1? So let's start, because we want to build that first over, like the number 1 pick. So let's go 10 down to 1. Top 10 wide receivers, kind of how they should theoretically finish. And yeah, let's start off with the number 10 guy if you want.
Let's just say if we were bullfighters right now, I would be going, Olave!
That's a good one, Chris Olave.
Yeah, I just thought of that. I'm pretty smart that way.
And actually, this is one of those names, like I go by Olave, like it's Olave, right? Like it could be pronounced several different ways for Olaves. Anyway, besides the fact, listen, let's talk about Chris Olave. Got him in at number 10 here. Love the upside, love the ceiling. Now, he does have Derek Carr throwing to him. And Tim, I'm not really a big Derek Carr fan. Like, no playoff wins. The guy's getting a 3-year, I think it's $150 million deal. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. But this guy's getting paid a lot. Not a good reality guy, but good for fantasy. Tends to feed his wide receivers relatively consistently. We saw that last year with Devontae Adams. Olave, young, dynamic talent, had himself, I believe, 1,000-yard receiving season last year in his rookie year with a bunch of crappy quarterbacks throwing to him. So when I look at a guy like Olave, now you got me saying that a lot, right? Um, I'm seeing a ton of upside here with him. I really am. I'm seeing a guy that's going to get fed, going to get fed regularly and consistently. Second year player, tons of upside. Now, there was talk, Tim, not that this means anything because he's had years to wow us as of late, not wowed. Michael Thomas saying that he's got a chip on his shoulder. He wants to eat. He wants to get the volume. He's ready to go. Other than that, really, the sky's limit for Olave. Finished 25th amongst wide receivers. Is this, PPR 25th. I got him here. 1,042 yards, only 4 touchdowns. Like I said, crappy guys throwing to him. No way but up for Olave. Anything you want to chime in on here? Michael Thomas, is he going to be a threat, do you think? Or Olave to the moon? What do you think?
You just kind of hit on my biggest concern. I think the yardage is there. I think the targets are going to be there. The touchdowns were really horrible last year. So let's hope that gets better with Derek Carr there. We know that Carr can sling the ball. So definitely, like you said, the sky's the limit. Michael Thomas being there, whatever, I don't want to write him off. I mean, the guy was amazing. He's pretty much been out of the game for like a year and a half, 2 years now, though, with injuries going on. So,
Right.
he could come back. He could come back and be in top form. I just doubt it. I wouldn't put a lot into it. So I think Olave is going to be the number one there.
Yeah, easily. Now, if you look at, I was talking about crappy quarterbacks. Dalton was the guy throwing the ball last year, and Winston for a couple games. So, and again, he's a rookie. He's just trying to get integrated. This year, they're a lot more settled in. They got a game plan with Derek Carr. Tons more upside. And the value, Tim, you can get this guy in the 3rd round in a redraft league, 12%. Good value. You're getting a wide receiver 1. So this is that situation where you can go running back, integrate yourself in Olave, and then go running back. Again, we're talking strategy. I lay this all out in 16-round draft solution. So Chris Olave, definitely top 10 potential. They could finish there. That's, I love the upside. All right, Tim, let's move on here to number 9. Not a fan of this guy at all, but who we got number 9?
I mean, you might not be a fan, but you got to admit the guy's friggin' amazing. It's Tyreek Hill, baby.
Yeah, I'm not a fan now. I don't know if you guys know the news. Tim, I don't know if you know the news. I'm not going to pull up the video. Actually, maybe I should pull up the video here to show everybody. If you guys don't know what happened, he was at a marina in Miami area. And do you know the story, Tim? Have you been following the news?
I think I've seen the video, but no, I don't care for all this. And you always go to the outside distractions and stuff.
I love the news. I love when there's sound bites like this. So he ends up slapping an employee at the marina. It was a very light, soft slap. But the point I always try, I'm going to pull this up here. You guys can see it. The point I always try to make, Tim, there's a slap. It's like you could barely see it. Like it's nothing, right? And then he gets angry here. It's zooming in on me, not on the video. And then he gets kind of angry and he's got a temper and he's kind of getting pulled away. I'm gonna beat you, man. I'm gonna beat you. One more time, take a look at the slap here, Tim. I don't know if you could see it. There's the guard right there on the left. He kind of slaps him. It's hard to see even. Point I'm trying to make is if we slap Tyreek Hill, it would be an issue. We'd be instantly in jail. But anyway, nothing's happened right now. Possibly a looming suspension if anything happens from this. Either way, these entitled players get away with everything. Either way, like the thing with this guy is Tua. Like Tua had his share of concussions last year, his injuries, this and that. That is a big concern. He's due for a contract year for Tua. Sky's really the limit with this guy. Obviously, Waddle's there. He's going to get his share of targets as well. But, I mean, Tyreek's the man. He was inconsistent when he was on the Chiefs for years. When I mean inconsistent, I mean he had boom games, he had bust games, and he was kind of all over the place. If he stays consistent, continues to get that volume, he'll be solid. 170 targets last year, 1,700 yards, 7 touchdowns. I don't see that type of year, but I do see a safe year. If, barring any type of injury, this guy stays in the top 10, I don't see any reason why he shouldn't, Tim. He's a cheetah.
Yeah, I think the numbers are actually right where they're going to be the same this year. I think everything's going to stay pretty much similar. So you're looking at what you got last year. There's no reason to doubt it, with Tua and even like you said, with Waddle there as well. It doesn't matter, man. Waddle and Hill, there's enough to go around. These guys are going to eat.
Yeah. All right. Next guy here. Who do we have here coming in at 10, 9, 8? Who's number 8 here? Do you want some music, by the way?
No, I'm snapping my fingers. It's good.
Magical Twinkle. It'll be magical if he finishes the season this year.
That's my thing. I'm like, I don't know about this guy either, but Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Amon-Ra, no, that's not the guy. It's Cooper Kupp. You got the list wrong. Tim, I said to you.
My apologies. I started going from the top down instead of down top.
You got the French accent. Listen, it's the glasses. It's all the glasses. We agreed prior to this show. I said, listen, you can wear the glasses as long as, you
As
can
long as
read
I get everything right. But look at it, I still screw up.
the first time he wears the glasses, he screws up, but he's never really screwed up prior to this. So maybe take the glasses off moving forward. Anyway, so Cooper Kupp, Tim, he's already injured. Look ridiculous. All right, Cooper Kupp's already banged up. Hamstring injury, he tweaked it, and he got an ankle injury last year. Told you to fade him. Ankle injury. I got a lot of hype, a lot of heat last year because I predicted injury. You can't predict injury. I said a decline's happening. Injury is part of that. So he was injured last year, coming off that Super Bowl hangover. Listen, you're saying, why are you talking crap about a guy you got him in the top 10? Barring any injury, if he stays healthy, and that's the big if, he's a top 10 finisher. Again, people rip on me, you can't predict injury, so I'm not factoring in injury. Let's put it this way. I'm recommending him in 16 rounds as an option, but when I do my mock drafts, I'm not drafting because I simulate on how I would draft a team. I got to put him in there because, again, you can't predict injury, but do I personally have this guy on my teams? No. Can he achieve the numbers that he had 2 years ago, this big pinnacle year? No, I don't see that. I just don't see it. I see him having a safe, solid year if healthy, and that is it. But Cooper Kupp, man, what do you think? Do you think astronomical numbers a couple years ago? I don't see this happening again, Tim. I really don't.
Okay, let me put it this way, though. So he played 9 last year. So that's a little more than half a season, but let's just call it half a season. He played half the games. 200 fantasy points in half the games. Dude, if he stays healthy, and I hate to say that because you always have to kind of do this stuff. You have to assume they're going to be healthy. You can say injury imminent, he's getting up there, blah, blah, blah. But based on what he should do in a full year, he is still a great player and should still kill it in fantasy points.
Should have, could have.
Mid to high 300s, no problem.
But I'm looking at his stats here, Tim, and literally this guy's done literally nothing. I don't want to say nothing. Hold on one sec. He had under 1,000 yards his rookie year. Second year, 566 yards. 1,000-yard receiving season 2019. He only has 2 1,000-yard receiving seasons. People treat him like he's one of the best wide receivers in the game. He's not. He's only had 2 1,000-yard receiving seasons. I have running backs on the mind. I'm the only one that's got running backs on the mind because nobody wants to pay him these days. But yeah, I mean,
but let me hit you on this though. Why did he only have those 2 with over 1,000?
That's a good question.
No. Look at the number of games played. It's right there.
Injuries.
When he plays a full year, he's gold.
Yeah, that's another thing. So
problem is he hasn't played very many full years.
8 games. I mean, he played 15 games in 2017, only 8 games in 2018, 16 in 2019, where he had that 1,000-yard receiving season and 10 touchdowns. Had a bummer year in 2020 with only 3 touchdowns, 974 yards, mediocre season. And then he had that boom year in 2021. And again, it's kind of up and down, but injury plays a factor. Listen, I'm not going to spend too much time on him. I'm not drafting him, but he can finish top 10 barring any type of injury.
Yeah, he's just very unreliable, very up and down type player. But when he's on, he's amazing.
All right, next guy here.
Okay, I got it right this time. A.J. Brown.
Tim, you got it, man. And A.J. Brown had himself an amazing year. I ended up doing a draft last year, mid-season. I was in a mid-season league. I ended up stacking Hurts and Brown, and they won me my league. I mean, just absolutely amazing. 1,496 yards, 11 touchdowns last year, 146 targets. Obviously, Devontae Smith is going to get his share. He had 136 targets. That's the problem when you have two really good wide receivers. It's going to be a bit of a split. So, I look at A.J. Brown, barring any type of injury. Hurts got paid big money. They got to feed him. I mean, I think it's like as per usual continued here. I don't see any reason there's a problem here with A.J. Brown and Hurts. This connection should continue on. Like I said, barring any type of injury or a major regression somehow in Hurts, I don't see that. A.J. Brown's a top 10 guy. There's no denying it. Obviously, Devontae Smith's going to be there, but I'm still not concerned here. I think this is a safe play. Am I excited? Am I giddy? Is there a massive ceiling, 170 plus targets? No. The Smith hindrance is there. But yeah, I mean, safe wide receiver for sure.
Absolutely, man. AJ Brown is the guy to put in the touchdowns, is the way I'm looking at it. So he's only been in for 4 years. He's got 2 years with 11 touchdowns, one with eight, and one poopy year with five. So to me, that's kind of where he has to be. He has to get those double digit touchdowns to put him in the higher echelon. But the
Yeah.
yardage, I think, should be there. The guy's great.
The next guy on the list is Calvin Ridley. Okay. Listen, I had to bring this guy's name up because I know you're not excited about him as much as I am. I know he hasn't played in a couple of years. He had the betting issues. He was suspended. Now he's got arguably one of the best quarterbacks throwing him the ball. Calvin
Wait,
Ridley,
what? What?
what? Trevor Lawrence. Let's not
What?
sleep on him. Come on, man.
Look at what he's thrown for, though, dude. Don't call him one of the best quarterbacks as far as
Do not
throwing and all
sleep.
that.
Do not sleep on Trevor Lawrence, Uncle Trevor, and Calvin Ridley's gonna boom. I don't know if you saw the one tape. I don't have it, but like there's this one tape where him and I think Zay Jones are running side by side, and then boom, like he just looks like the Flash compared to him. And I guess you could say that Jones was not really trying or whatever, but Calvin Ridley looks really good in camp. Okay, and then you've got Trevor Lawrence throwing the ball, young, dynamic quarterback. This is going to be a boom type player. Obviously, Kirk is there. They've got other options, yada yada. But I'm excited. I'm genuinely excited about Calvin Ridley. Now you're skeptical about people like Cage Rust, right? Is that what you're concerned about, Tim?
Well, obviously, you have to think of that. He's only played, what, 6 games maybe in the last 2 years, something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
But then to say Trevor Lawrence being one of the top young quarterbacks, he is. He's a dynamic quarterback, but he is not a great throwing quarterback. We haven't seen anything special out of him to make me think that Ridley, a guy who's been off a year, like there's just too many things working against this whole equation.
yeah. I mean, I just like the upside. I like the ceiling. I like the talent. I again, you could say some people are saying, well, Joe, he benefited. You know, he was in Atlanta opposite Julio Jones, and he benefited. Again, I just think there's a sky's the limit type performance year out of Calvin Ridley, and you can get this guy round 4 typically. So again, I've got him in the top 10, assuming he's going to finish in the top 10 based on that ceiling. But there's an opportunity for him. You get him for a value, right? You get him in the 4th round in draft. So
And
sometimes 3rd round.
that's the thing, man. The price you're paying for him, it's worth a shot, hoping that he does come back and he's Calvin Ridley from when he was back in Atlanta. I get it. I get it. I do. But I'm still kind of concerned Trevor Lawrence doesn't throw high touchdowns or we haven't seen it out of him yet.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the year that he starts to go off a little more. Yardage is decent at breaking 4,000, but yeah, everything's got to work perfect for this to be a good pick.
Right. All right, Tim. Who's the next guy on the list? You get a match.
Well, well, Joe, you've already mentioned his name once. That's not.
Breaking news. I was gonna mention his name before Ridley, but either way, who do we got here?
We have Stephon Diggs.
Mr. Diggs drama. Stephon Diggs drama, the double D.
He digs it.
Yeah. I mean, we had some off-field stuff with him, and I'm not gonna get into it. I don't know too much about it. Josh Allen, him, how off-field issues. Apparently, kind of like you and me, we have our issues and we work them out, right? You know, you're the, I guess you're the diva, right? Or am I the diva? Am I the Diggs?
I'm going to say you're the diva.
Okay, I'm the Diggs. Okay, so you're taking a dig at me. Okay, so let's talk about Stephon Diggs. Listen, safe, solid as they come. They drafted Dalton Kincaid. They've got Dawson Knox. They got Gabriel Davis. They got Cook catching the ball in the backfield. They've got their share of options here. Stephon Diggs is just one of them. The main one on paper. So listen, if everything goes well, Josh Allen's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. This connection should go. Now, I feel they have one more good year left on them. I think this is like thin ice, their last good year, their last hurrah. They're going to make a run for the Super Bowl hard this year because, again, how many good years can these guys have together? This is it. This is the year he has to shine. Yeah, safe, solid. You're going to have to pay a late 1st round, early 2nd round pick for this guy. So I like him. Josh Allen, solid. Don't you feel? I feel safe with this, Tim. It's one of those like safe picks.
Yeah.
Nothing else to say about it, really.
Yeah. To me, definitely a top 10 guy. I mean, the touchdowns are there, the yard, everything is there. He's the clear cut number 1 on the team. So nothing to worry about.
All right, let's move on here. What do we got next? I got number 4 now. 4.
Here's another good one. I mean, I kind of like this. I hate to say it because it's the Jets, but they're making some moves, man. They're trying. Let's see what they can do this year. So it is Garrett Wilson.
Garrett the Carrot. Guys, I'm not going to spend too much time on this other than he looked really good last year with Zach Wilson throwing the ball, gets an upgrade at quarterback.
Major
Major
upgrade
upgrade
at
at quarterback.
quarterback.
I mean, but again, you have that. The only question mark is new team, new offense. Aaron Rodgers goes there. We saw what Wilson did there. Not Garrett Wilson, but Russell Wilson in Denver last year. That's the only knock is like, can Aaron Rodgers really adapt? He's brought some players over like Alan Lazard, who I'm not sold on. Some people are saying, are you worried about Lazard? No, he sucks. He had the opportunity to shine last year. He never did. Garrett Wilson's the man. He looks really good. I think he had like a minor injury. I got to pull this up here. It was something that happened a while ago. I don't even know the details of it. He's fine though. He'll be good to go. Wasn't anything catastrophic.
Okay,
Um,
let me just say while you're looking this up, I do believe that Garrett Wilson is the one, but I do believe that Lazard is right there behind him as well. And
Lazard
Lazard is
sucks.
going to get his share, but Wilson is the number one.
Okay, it was a low ankle sprain. He should be back to practice. He'll be fine. It was just the way he came down on a pass or something like that. But listen, Garrett's the man, and you can get this guy in the second round. All I'm saying is, again, he is not the number 4 amongst wide receivers right now. But I got him number 4 because he could finish number 4. That's what I'm saying. He could finish number 1. He's got that type of ceiling. Aaron Rodgers drawing comparisons with him to Devontae Adams. Again, there's also talk about Adams wanting to reunite with Aaron Rodgers. Now, if that happens, now we got a disaster there. If Adams ends up back on the Jets, I think they've got the salary to accommodate. They are now flirting with Dalvin Cook, which is really ticking me off, Tim, because I'm a big Breece Hall believer coming off from that injury. And if Dalvin Cook ends up there, that could really, really bite into Breece Hall's volume. So
There's still a few big names out there that are just lurking in the shadows,
Kareem
right?
Hunt,
Wait to
Zeke
see
Elliott.
where these guys go, man. It's going to change things.
It's going to kill some buzz.
Yeah.
All right, there you have it, number 4. Let's move on to number 3. I'm going to give you some music for this one, Tim. You ready for this one?
I'm ready.
No. All right.
I don't really call it music,
Okay, hold
but
on.
yeah,
Let me do better.
chimes.
Oh, there goes my bike again. I lost my bike. All right, there you go. The chime
Yeah.
was so loud, my mic fell off the table. All right.
You know what? You bought a new mic and you're really happy with the mic, but I tell you that stand is chintzy as
So
F.
it's a tripod stand, but this mic is very like it's heavy, so it tips. But I got to get a new stand.
Do you want to trash that company? Like, is it
No,
the
it didn't come
stand
with
that
it.
comes with the mic? No,
No, it's
okay.
a separate
So
stand.
you
aftermarket.
chinsed out, you silly little boy.
This is actually no, it's a premium metal stand. It's just that it wasn't for this
Not
mic.
for that mic. Yeah, I get it.
But either way, I just lost my hand here. Okay. All right. So I was trying. Okay, back to it. Where are we now?
This is when I really screwed up. This is the name I already blurted out when I went out of order.
Okay.
This is Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Amon-Ra, as consistent as they come. Jared Goff, super safe, super solid, super secure. Jameson Williams doesn't come back till week 7. I do love the addition of Jahmyr Gibbs. They added Sam Laporta, the rookie tight end, who I think will get a lot of red zone work. Amon-Ra's the man. He's going to get the volume. He's got that rapport. He's got a solid quarterback. It's like when I think of safety and security, Jared Goff's name comes to me and Amon-Ra St. Brown. But I have one problem with Amon-Ra St. Brown. I got to pay second round for a guy that I was getting last year while the Chiefs were sleeping on him. I was getting this guy in all my leagues in the 4th round. And this is where I tell everybody that you can get value 4th, 5th, 6th round. You're getting wide receiver ones for later and have that top 10 finish. So Amon-Ra St. Brown finished 7th amongst wide receivers last year. He wasn't 7th on the list last year, but he finished 7th. Does that make sense to him? He was well outside the top 10. And this is what I'm telling you. There's tons of wide receiver ones. Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, Drake London, Quentin Johnson, who was going to tear it up, I think, this year as a rookie. Tons of guys you can get later. And if you want all of them, 16-round draft solution. But Amon-Ra, Tim, do you feel warm and fuzzy with him? Do you feel safe?
I feel safe. I don't feel warm and fuzzy. I feel safe. Like we talked about it like a couple of weeks ago about maybe going to a Detroit game, and then we're like, can't believe we just said that. We're talking about going to a Detroit game.
Yeah.
It's never been a team that interests either of us, but you're right. It's just safe and comfortable. And even when you said Jared Goff, Mr. Reliable and safe and secure, and I think you used to talk crap about Jared Goff, but now
not really. I just didn't.
now he is. He's just like, and that's it. He's just right there. He's just a level guy. You know what to expect, and you're going to get what you expect. That's it. Don't expect a big boom year out of him. It'd be a miracle if it happens.
Absolutely. All right, moving on to number 2. We're getting right to the last 2 here, Tim. Again, before we get into this, make sure you guys 16-round draft solution, secure the solution, secure the championship. We've got to plug it again because I want people in there. I want people to win their leagues. Coming at number 2, who is it?
Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, I mean, he's been perfect for the past 2 years. How long will this continue? Barring any type of injury, he is still the man. Kirk Cousins got that report. The addition of Addison and Hawkinson will steal some volume away from him. Hawkinson is going to get some red zone work. And then you got Addison, who is a top wide receiver prospect coming out of the draft. Looks pretty good in training camp. But other than that, Jefferson's the alpha. Jefferson's the man. Jefferson's got the rapport. He's as safe as they come. But am I drafting him? No, because I'm looking at running back. I'm looking at Bijan Robinson round 1. I'm looking at someone else. So Justin Jefferson for me is going to be a pass, just way too expensive, although as safe as they come, barring any type of injury. I mean, what do you think? Jefferson's the man, right? I mean, there's nothing.
Yeah.
You can't knock him, can we, in any way?
Dude, how could you possibly look at this guy's rookie year? 1,400 yards in his rookie year, and he hasn't looked back since. It's only gone up every year. Now he's kind of reaching the top of what he can get, I think. But man, 1,400, 1,600, 1,800 touchdowns are relatively decent. 7, 10, 8. So when you said there's another guy in there, I forget who you said, Hawk.
Addison.
Red zones, whatever. The red
Hawkinson.
zone's not. The red zone is not where JJ makes his money. It's not. He's the big yardage guy, multi receptions, high receptions. That's where he gets his points. So the touchdowns just have to kind of stay at the average where they are, around 7 to 10. Beautiful. If he can exceed that, then man, he's going to have a killer year.
Yeah, I mean, his yardage is insane. 1,890. I don't think he's going to hit that type of yardage. His targets are 184. I think that's going to come down a little bit. You look at touchdowns. I think he'll stay around in 8 to 10 is kind of, I mean, there's nothing barring any type of injury that would hinder this guy from performing the way that he did. Oh, there is one problem with him. There is one problem. I want to do a disclaimer here. Okay. He is extremely inconsistent in certain games. So let me pull this up here to tell you. Okay. So in 2022, like, imagine you're starting him, right? You got 39 points. Tim, picture this, okay? Fantasy week 1, I drafted Jefferson, not me, but let's say you drafted Jefferson. 39 points, okay? Week 2, 10.8. You're like, what the? You know what? Then you're like, okay, maybe it was a fluke 10-pointer. Week 3, 4.4 points. 4.4, Tim, out of your top wide receiver. And then you're like, okay, I'm screwed. Then he gets 2 30-pointers, back to 16 and 15. And then you're looking at week 11, 6.3 points. And then if you look at week 17, 18, and that's kind of fantasy championships and, people are kind of eliminated, 2.5 points and 7.8. Like the fact that he had a 6.3, a 4.4, a 2.5, and a 7.5, and a 10 bothers me. Those 5 games would just destroy me as a person if I drafted him in the first round. You know what I'm saying?
But here's the thing. That's a DFS concern. That's not really a year-long.
It is. No, it's a year-long.
There's so many players that are erratic like that. In fact, as you were talking, I started looking up one of your other guys here, and Tyreek Hill, the cheetah, a 3.3. Sorry, I'm not in PPR right now, so it's going to be a little bit different. But anyways, 3.3, 6, 7.2, 9. 2.3.
That's
it happens, man. It happens to the best. So that's the major difference between year long and DFS, though, is year long, you're in it for the long haul. You're going to take those boom weeks. Unfortunately, you're going to have to suffer through some bust weeks. And that's what happens,
What year were you looking at for Cheetah? It wasn't last year at 2.3. You must be looking at a different year.
I'm looking 2022, brother. But like I said, I'm not in PPR.
Oh, yeah, I'm in PPR. I was looking at PPR. Yeah. That's why I'm in PPR.
So there's going to be a slight difference, but it's not massive. It's a 5.3.
Yeah.
Okay, whoop-de-doo. So he gets a 5.3. He's got a 4.3.
Week 18 was a 2.3 in standard, a 6-point in week 5. But either way, the point I'm trying to make is here, the Jefferson's being drafted as the safest guy, and he had some inconsistencies. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm saying every guy does, and you gotta kind of rock it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I guess
you're not going to get 25 every week.
I want 25.
I know. Yeah.
All right, the last one here, Tim. That's a long twinkle.
Twinkle. Anyways, your number 1 pick, ladies and gentlemen, is Jamar Chase. Come on down.
Jamar Chase.
Jamar.
I always talk about this stat here when I'm talking about Jamar, the man. The thing about him, what I really like is that the guy finished really high, only playing 12 games. He finished as number 11 amongst wide receivers in PPR, Tim, playing 12 games, and he was still the number one target getter on the team. You got Joe Burrow, who again has had his little tweak of an injury here as well, but he should be good to go. That's my concern is Burrow going to stay healthy the whole season? But if he does, then that great. This connection is going to continue. They got Higgins, they got Boyd, second fiddles, obviously. Jamar is the man. He's going to get the volume. He's going to get the targets, 9 touchdowns last year. Let's hope he stays healthy the entire season. If so, he's got the highest ceiling out of all wide receivers. Young, dynamic, talented, explosive upside. Nothing but good stuff to say about this guy if he stays on the field. That's it.
Yeah,
Simple.
yeah, man. I mean, touchdowns are a little bit higher than normal or than average for your top wide receivers. He's looking at easily mid double digit touchdowns every year. It seems. Last year he got 9 in 12 games, so he's averaging just under 1 per game.
Yeah. Sky really is the limit for him. So Jamar Chase at number 1 here as we round out the top 10. Now, again, you don't have to draft based on rankings. Rankings will not help you win. Secure the 16-round drafts, which I've linked it below, to smash your leagues. Tim, are you waiting on wide receiver or are you going wide receiver early? What's your kind of deal this year?
Man, I say it all the time. It kind of depends on how the draft is playing out. I mean, if I'm like 8th or 9th, and all the top running backs, the guys that I really wanted are gone, but a really nice guy like Chase is sitting there, my God, am I going to be tempted, man? So it really does depend on how it plays out as to where I'm going to look.
Yeah.
And a lot of that has to do with your draft position too.
Robust or bust. Tons of value at wide receiver. And to get all the value, grab the 16-round draft session. Smash a thumbs up here, guys, and make sure you guys are subscribed. Tim, thanks for coming on, man. Nice glasses. You need new ones.
Thanks, brother.
All right, man. We'll talk soon, guys. We're out.
All right. Peace.
Peace out.